you have a public comment or a club update, please put your name in the chat and we will call on you when we get to that point. Moving to action item, approval of the agenda. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda?
I move to approve the agenda.
Okay, movement by Frankie. Do I have a second?
Second.
Who was that?
Maria.
Okay, seconded by Maria. All opposed? All abstaining? Okay, motion passes. Next action item, approval of the minutes from the prior meeting. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
I motion to approve.
I could not quite see who that was.
Hi, Gina, the SSE.
Okay. Moved by Gina. Do I have a second?
I motion to amend.
Wait, there's already a motion on the table to approve.
Sorry.
Okay, so Gina's motion dies. So
I move to amend the minutes from the prior meeting. On line item 5, section A, my name is misspelled, changing it from CAITLYN to CAITLIN. And it's the same for line item 17, section B, subsection C, and line item 20, section A.
Okay, movement to approve or amend the agenda. Do I have a second?
Second.
All opposed? Or seconded by Jacob? All opposed? All abstaining? Motion passes. Ilaria, do I fix that right now?
Well, I'll go ahead and fix that on my end. No worries. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Moving on to public comment. Ilaria, do I have any public comments?
We do. So first is Ziggy Siegfried.
All right, I'll go ahead. First of all, thanks for letting me say a few words. I know most of you, but my name's Ziggy Siegfried. I'm the director of athletics, and I typically would present at the end of each month, but I had to miss last week, so I just wanted to say a few words. Our student athletes, our scholar athletes are doing well right now. I did want to update, as many of you know, we are officially part of the Big West Conference, which has been a dream of ours for a while. And recently, a student athlete was selected to serve on a newly found committee, which is called Big West Undivided. And it's a committee focused on fighting social injustices. And I was also selected as one of the 3 ADs to serve on that committee. So we're very excited about that. Our student athlete is Vanessa Austin, who is on our women's basketball team. Another initiative that we're doing right now, and we've partnered with Ilaria and ASI, is we are really pushing hard to make sure that our student athletes, our scholar athletes, vote. So we've broken it up into 3 parts. First, registration. Second, making sure that they have unbiased information to guide them in voting. And then third, obviously, to make them to make sure that they do vote. So that kind of gets kicked off next week at our student athlete welcome back. And then the last item as an update, as far as athletics returning to competition, our fall sports, which are men's and women's soccer, volleyball, and cross country, Right now, those have been postponed until the spring, and we'll find out if they're going to be able to have competition at that point here soon. As far as winter sports and spring sports, there have not been a definite answer right now, but we'll continue to update people as we have more information on when your runners can get back to competition safely. And those are my just few updates I wanted to go over.
Thank you so much, Ziggy. Does anybody have any questions for Ziggy? Okay, any other public comment, Ilaria?
Yes, 1 second. Next, we have, first we need to recognize Crystal Rains at 3:04.
Okay, I recognize Crystal.
Okay, next we have Diego Leon. And so I'm going to go ahead and unmute you, Diego, 1 second.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for letting me speak at this time. My name is Diego Leon. I am a student at CSUB and a resident at Student Housing East. I have a question for y'all. So Starbucks was shut down this Thursday, leaving housing residents with no breakfast option. So will the Runner Cafe now be open for breakfast, or will there be any other breakfast options provided for the students? Thank you.
Thank you, Diego. I know we have some folks on from Airmark that are going to make a public comment afterwards. So we're hoping to have that answer for you. Next is Carly Leon. Carly, I'm going to unmute you. Go ahead, Carly.
Good afternoon. My name is Corelli, and I am a peer advocate at the CSUB Student Housing East. And I am concerned about the breakfast option due to not all students have a mode of transportation outside of campus. So I was wondering if other places would collaborate with CSUB in order to provide breakfast options, or if we would open up like Panda Express or Starbucks. I know Starbucks has a requirement to meet each day, so would another option be provided? And that is my question. Thank you.
Thank you, Corelli. Ulysses would like to seek recognition from the chair at 3:11.
I recognize Ulysses.
Okay. Is there anyone else here for public comment? Please write your name in the chat or type your name over in Q&A and we'll go ahead and unmute you. Dr. Cantrell, you can go ahead and unmute yourself.
Good afternoon, everyone. I just wanted to say hello to everyone, hello to the group. I don't have a lot of detail. You know, our enrollment is up. We have more than 11,900 students on our campus, so we're really happy about that. The one thing I did want to get to you is that I know we're in the first couple of weeks of school. And so for any of you that may be having some challenges, or students you know that may be having some challenges getting to some of our service areas, be it admissions, financial aid, registrar, any of that, feel free to contact enrollment. I'll put it in the chat, enrollment@csub.edu. We established a new email address. So if you're really running into some barriers in that, we want to make sure that we're meeting those. And then other than that, just wanted to make sure that you're getting everything you need. If you have any questions, please feel free to let me know, and I'm happy to help. Welcome back.
Thank you so much for that, Dr. Contrell. Do I have any other public comments?
At least at this time, no. Thank you.
Okay. Moving on to club updates. Are there any club updates?
We do. We have Roxana Esparza here from the Society of Women Engineers. Roxanne, go ahead and give us your club update.
Hi, everyone. I'm very happy and blessed to be here, and I hope everyone is doing well. So, our club update is that on September 18th at 2 p.m. to 3, we're going to be having a guest speaker. His name is Abel Morelos. He is a NASA internships and communications coordinator that we reached out to and has agreed to speak. And another update is regarding the current Economic Development Forum here in Bakersfield. It is comprised of women in STEM. I am on their member list, and if anyone is interested in joining that and their meetings, please let me know. I think, if possible, I can leave my email in the comment chat so that you can have my contact info. But yeah, so we're going to have a guest speaker, and if anyone's interested in joining those meetings in Kern County, please let me know. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Roxanne. Do I have any other club updates?
Not at this time.
Okay. Moving on to Academic Senate report.
Hi, the Academic Senate met yesterday. There were no major issues yesterday. After the emergency meeting the week before that passed 4 resolutions that pertains to issues that arises from alternative delivery. Yesterday's meeting was an orientation to new senators about the procedures of the Academic Senate. 4 resolutions that were passed last week is now on President Selesny's desk. They were the first one allowing students who went into academic disqualifications in the spring to be immediately reinstated. The second one to allow GUAR to be offered through online as long as the campus is on alternative delivery. The third one is to allow faculty who undergoes what we call RTP process, the retention, tenure, and promotion process, to submit their files online instead of a physical file, again, due to the current situation. And the fourth one is to allow instructors to continue teaching virtually without the need for an online teaching certification. Next week, the Academic Senate Standing Committees will meet for the first time this semester. That's it.
Thank you, Charles. Does anybody have any questions? Okay, moving on to alumni engagement report.
There is not an alumni engagement report today, and then actually we have 2 more public comments. So if we could go back to public comments. First, we have Sergio Brito. So Sergio, I'm just going to go ahead and unmute you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Sergio Brito, and I live here in Student Housing Residence Live. I also have a concern about food insecurity and not having a breakfast option available for students that live on campus. I know that you all said that Airmark is going to make a statement about that, but I was also wondering if there's any way. I know that other campuses, notably some UC campuses, have formed partnerships with restaurants that are nearby the university, and students are allowed to use their dining money at those nearby restaurants. Given the current climate here at CSUB, with only having the cafe and having very limited options, I know that some of the residents have dietary restrictions and aren't able to find food options available there. And to live on campus, they are required to have a dining plan. So I was wondering if there's any way that ASI could facilitate a conversation about possibly partnering up with either some shopping centers that are nearby. I know we have the marketplace right across the street from Student Housing and Residence Live. We have Trader Joe's, possibly forming some sort of partnership where students are able to use their student dining funds to purchase food at other restaurants that have a variety of options, as well as better hours, for lack of better words, better hours for that are more suitable for the student population.
Thank you, Sergio. Next is Wayne Nareen. So Wayne, I will unmute you. Wayne, you can go ahead.
Okay. Can everybody hear me? Okay. So first of all, just to address the Starbucks issue, I want to make it clear that, it brings no joy to have to close down Starbucks. And we anticipated a lot more people participating at Starbucks than actually did over the past few weeks. Generally, just so you have an idea, Starbucks is a licensed brand and it has to be upheld to a certain standard. You can't just open kind of like, oh, we're only going to open part of Starbucks. It has to be the whole everything or nothing because we're representing a brand. So that being said, actually, it's Aramark that's representing the brand. But generally speaking, there needs to be at least 200 people a day in order to keep that open. On the average, it was 25 a day at best. Okay, so that's the key reason for that. And I understand with the breakfast options, and I know I have Owen is on this call as well, but I know that he has provided, let me back up a bit, because this happened back, I want to say in the spring when the pandemic started, where we had to close some things down and be creative because we've never been through this before. And we even try to do like, hey, can we do a, place an order and we'll deliver it or whatever. And literally, I'm not making this up, had zero participation. And like I said, Owen Smith, who's the food service director for Aramark, can probably share a little more on that when I'm done. But as far as the breakfast options, what Aramark has come up with is some other options. So, for example, when you go for lunch or dinner, you can purchase, some breakfast items to keep in your room or refrigerator or what have you for hot cereals and breakfast burritos and things like that. So there are options to have for breakfast. When this happened again, I'm going back to history. We opened before at, I want to say it was like 9:00, and literally there was zero people. Once in a while, there'd be one or two that stroll by. So the participation is not there. It's a lot of energy to burn to open up the entire place and have the kitchens running and everything else when nobody comes to participate. But having those other options, and Owen can speak to what he can do for you if there's something you don't like or something you'd like to see. He's happy to work with every student who has some concerns. So maybe Ilaria, if maybe you could open up to Owen, he could probably talk a little more about the menu itself.
Okay, thank you, Wayne. Next, we'll Jaime Duran seeks recognition from the chair at 3:19.
I recognize Jaime.
And next, we're going to have a public comment by Owen Smith. Owen, you are unmuted.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you, Wayne, for those comments. Yes, I am the food service director here with Aramark. And I know a couple of the items that were mentioned were dietary needs. And I tried covering this through the orientations this summer. My email, my phone number, the fact that I'm here every day, any student is more than welcome to reach out to me with specific dietary needs, and we will make sure that we do everything in our power to meet those needs, whether it be gluten allergies, vegetarian, vegan, dairy issues, anything like that. In specifics in regards to breakfast, I think Wayne actually mentioned most of this already. because we don't have an area that is open at the time of service for breakfast hours. And we've already been doing this the last couple of weeks with Starbucks not being open on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. We have breakfast items available that you can take back with you. Some heat and serve items, whether it be oatmeal, we have some breakfast burritos. We had some, I think, like sausage, egg, and cheese sandwiches and stuff. I just checked. It looked like we were out, so we'll be making sure we bring a few more of those types of items in. But we're really looking to have a variety of those items. On the weekends specifically, we do try to feature breakfast items on Saturdays and Sundays from our hot stations. So you can have made to order omelets, eggs, those types of things as well. Because we want to try to give you as much of a variety as possible. But understanding that we have a very limited amount of people that we're trying to give the broadest variety to. We're only seeing, like I believe Wayne had mentioned this, we're seeing about 30, 35 people a meal period over here in the cafeteria even. So anybody that is coming over here, specifically from housing that feels they're forced that this is their only option, please reach out to me. Let me know, hey, I've been looking for this item. This is my dietary needs, anything like that. And we will be more than happy to work with you to make sure that your needs are met and we can take care of you. Otherwise, if you have other specific suggestions, menu rotation ideas, please let me know. We are more than welcome to change things up. Since we are catering to you and you're only a handful of people here, we're going to do our best to make sure that we're giving you what you're looking for. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Owen. And then, Jonathan, we also have Jasmine Montoya here from the Psychology Club for a club update. Jasmine, go ahead and give your update.
Hi, thank you so much. My name is Jasmine, and I'm the current president of the Psychology Club. We're actually going to be having our first Psychology Club meeting this Thursday on September 10th at 5:30. We're going to be having a guest speaker coming in from the Borgen Project, which is an organization that fights national homelessness. They're going to be sharing some volunteer internship opportunities for students. We're also collaborating with NAMI, which is the National Alliance on Mental Illness, to promote mental health awareness and normalize therapy in the community. There's going to be a NAMI walk on October 10th. So on our next meeting, we're just going to be talking about activities that we want to do for that day. And let's see. That's pretty much it. And we're actually on RunnerSync. We're all our updated information is on that. So you can find us on there, or you can email us and I can probably put that in the chat to share. Thank you.
Thank you, Jasmine. Do we have any other public comments or club updates?
No, we're good now. We can get back on agenda.
Okay. Moving on to campus programming report.
Hello, everyone. My name is Afaf Aldalay. I'm one of the campus programming coordinators. I think this is my first meeting of the academic year, so I'm seeing a lot of new faces. So we just wrapped up our week of welcome, which was really great. We had a lot of virtual events. We had an improv show. We had like a Wellness Wednesday event. And then we ended it with T-Pain Q&A. So as a lot of you know, we were supposed to have T-Pain at our runner nights last semester, and we were unable to do that. So we brought him on for a Q&A. And so we would really appreciate it if we can get some feedback. If any of you were at the event, what you liked about it, what you didn't like about it, feel free to let me know in the chat, or I'm going to put my email address in there as well. And you can send me an email with, what you liked, what you didn't, what you would like to see at future events as well. We are planning our runner nights. And so this year we're hoping to do a musical, like the music runner nights in the fall, which in the past we've done a carnival. So we're going to switch it around. And so what you would like to see at that as well. So what does that look like? Do you want multiple smaller artists, one big headline artist, stuff like that? So we're really open to whatever suggestions you all may have. But yeah, some other things we have going on. We are planning Hispanic Heritage Month, finalizing all of those dates. So keep an eye out for that. We're starting with a kickoff on September 15th, which is the first day. It goes from September 15th to October 15th. Some other events that we have are the Latino Faculty Staff Association is putting on some events, a documentary showing, a speaker. We're also looking to do like an art night, paint nights, and SRC is going to do like a Kahoot. So there's a few things going on for that month. So keep an eye out for that. Hopefully the schedule will be coming out soon. Another exciting thing that we have is a calendar of events. So if any of you are familiar with our student affairs calendars that we used to send out, we are doing an electronic version of that. And I'm not sure if I can share my screen. I can't share it while another participant is sharing, but
yeah, Jonathan, if you want to stop sharing your screen so Afaf can share hers. There you go, Afaf.
So it'll look something, or it'll look like a lot like this. And then if you hover over the events, if there's a Zoom link for it, you can just click directly to it, which makes it super easy. More information, it'll either take you to the Zoom event or an Instagram page with more info or a website. So keep an eye out for that. We have a little bit of detail updates that we're fixing right now, and hope to send it out as soon as possible. So we have that. Some events that are coming up, we have a brown bag discussion and an expression nights, both on Thursday, September 17th. The brown bag discussion is going to be on mental health and wellness, and it'll be with some of the counselors here on campus. And the expression nights, we have a special guest host. His name is Propaganda. He's a poet, and he's going to be emceeing for the night. So if anybody wants to perform or knows anyone that wants to perform, if you go to our Instagram page at CSUB Programming and you click our link tree, there's a link there for a form that you can just fill out what you'll be performing, how much time you need, contact information. So if you're interested or know anybody that's interested, please send them that way. We would love to get a great turnout, some great talent. So some other updates that I have, I actually think that's about it. So if anybody has any questions, any ideas about some events we should do or can do, or want to collaborate with us, we are definitely open to it. This whole virtual events is a learning curve. So any feedback we can get from you all as students and student leaders is much appreciated. So again, if you have any questions, I'll be sticking around, and then I'll also put my email in the chat as well.
Thank you so much, Afaf. Do we have any questions?
Please, so if you're on the board, raise your hand in the participant window or write your name in the chat. Seeing none.
Okay, moving on to the president's report.
Well, thank you very much. It's wonderful to be with all of our student leaders today, and I hope this week continued to be another smooth week for all of you. I want to begin by sharing how proud I am of your very first meeting last week. It was just with great pride to sit and watch the great leadership that you exhibited, and for all the progress that you have made in 1 week. So I really want to commend you and thank you for all of your hard work. And I'm really proud of your leadership as we began this academic year. I want to also let all of you know that I was invited to be part of a forum, and this was a forum that was from the White House. It was Vice President Pence, and others speaking, and particularly they were talking about college students, university students, and COVID. And I want to just give you a brief takeaway. One of the things that was clearly shared is that the federal government wants to clearly send a message that crowds equal infection. And so I'll share this with you as you go into Labor Day, that it is still imperative that all of us continue to practice very safe measures with our health, that we are wearing masks, that we are, again, not going out and exposing ourselves to large numbers of people in crowds, and that it's been shown that these past holidays have really been very, very problematic for our nation. So they wanted to get the university presidents on the line this morning just so we could share that concern with you. So as you go into Labor Day weekend, again, remember that this is one of the times that we tend to let our guard down on these 3-day weekends, but it's just imperative that you stay away from crowds and that you do continue to be very, very conscientious about your health. So with that, let me also just share that we have a couple of other opportunities for sharing information that we're learning. And we have our President's Forum that will be coming up, not next week, but the week after, September 16th, a Wednesday, 9 to 10:30. We always really gain when students are involved in our President's Open Forum. So please do join us for that event. And then that same week, a very busy week, we have our Runner Walk and Talk, our virtual Runner Walk and Talk. So again, that is specifically time with students, but we're very happy when our faculty and staff also join us for that. So that is on the 16th on the 17th, Thursday, the 17th from 2 to 3. So I look forward to keeping you updated and giving you reminders about those other opportunities for conversations. Thank you. Happy to take questions.
Thank you for your report, Dr. Zalesny. Do we have any questions?
Seeing none.
Okay, moving on to the Student Affairs Report.
Dr. Dernick, you can unmute yourself.
I just got it done there. Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. Happy Friday. It's great to see you all at the second meeting here of ASI for the new academic year. I wanted to mention 3 things quickly. Last week, Dr. Wallace mentioned the Guaranteed 4.0 Learning System program that's coming to campus next week. And I just wanted to remind you all about that. We have different sessions for different student groups on campus. And ASI's session is on September 11th at 1 p.m. Is that right, Ilaria? That's
yes.
Okay. There was an open session for students, and that's, from what I understand, that's full, which is great, but it's full. So I think we'll have a conversation about what we might be able to do about that to make sure that students who aren't affiliated with the student organization can get the same benefits from learning. It's a learning system. It's really easy to follow. There are 3 steps to it, and it shows you how to study, basically, and what to study and how to take notes. It's just really good stuff that no one has ever really taught this in school. You know, you're not taught this in high school. We don't really teach it necessarily at the university. Some instructors probably do. But this is a great system, and it's guaranteed, so can't beat that. So that's one thing. I wanted to mention to you all that CSUB has an ombudsperson for students, and her name is Maria Paleologo. And some of you may know Maria. She's a professor here at the university. She's been here for many years. And the ombudsperson helps students settle issues and problems with others, with faculty, staff, other students, at the lowest possible level, and before entering into official university, procedures like grievances and things like that. So I want to take this opportunity to let you know about that, so you can let your constituents know that if someone has a problem, they can call the ombudsperson. It's the perfect person to call, and chances are she can help get the situation resolved. So I want to encourage that. I've got brochures. I think I'll probably scan them. It's probably the best thing to do, and send them to you all, so you have the information. So you have Maria's contact information. Okay, so I'll do that. So if you have any questions about that after you get the brochure, let me know. And then the last thing I wanted to mention was the Kern home share, and this is part of basic needs. And we've been really struggling to look at ways to find affordable housing for students. And District 3, Kern County Supervisor Madigan from District 3 approached campus. He approached the president. He talked with Dr. Wallace. And they have a program that they've developed with the county that we're going to kind of get involved with and see how it works. And basically, for people that might own homes that their children have grown up and gone away to school and left home, extra bedrooms that can be rented to students, and the students would be vetted. The individuals who own the homes would be vetted to make sure it's a good match. And so we're putting this together to help address some of the housing issues that we're experiencing with students. And we're not moving real fast, of course, because of the current pandemic situation. The last thing we want to do is put people in people's houses that they don't know or they're not related to. But this is becoming a traction, I guess is my point. So just want to let you know about that as well. And that is all I have for today.
Thank you, Dr. Dernick. Do we have any questions?
Gina said, Dr. Dernick, sounds like an awesome program.
Great. Appreciate that.
Okay, let me just check. Nope, no questions.
Okay. Moving on then to Student Union and Organization Governance Report.
Hello, everybody. I'm sorry I missed last week. My Wi-Fi was not cooperating, but I kicked it around a little bit last weekend, and here I am. So I've got an update for our experiences last week. We had club fair on Wednesday, and normally, of course, we have about 50 tables set out by the cafe that students can peruse and ask questions of the club members and officers. And we didn't want to give up that face-to-face time, so we had each of the clubs create a Zoom link. We put all of the Zoom links on csub.edu on our student org page. And from 10 to 2 on Wednesday, students could go check out any of those clubs that they were interested in. I don't have any response from what the turnout was on that, but we have gotten some responses back on our feedback form, and it's been overwhelmingly positive, and not just a little positive, but very, very positive. So I was actually a little surprised at that. I thought that it was going to maybe qualify as a second effort. And I think people like it enough that we'll do this in addition to regular tabling in the future. We also did a thing called virtual tabling. So it's kind of like club tabling that's not related to club fair, where the clubs put up a short video and anybody can go at any time and check those out. We've got about 24 clubs that had videos up. And since they've been up, they've gotten a total of 418 total views, which is about 17 per club. So we're really happy about that. Site Club, if Site Club's still around, they had the highest turnout with 44 views on their page. So they have a really nice video and a lot of people checked it out. And I think that's really the extent of my report. If anybody's got any questions, I'll be around for a bit.
Thank you, Ed. Do we have any questions for him?
Vanessa has a comment.
Hi, Ed. I just wanted to say that I really think that you've been doing a lot of great work, especially with keeping Runner Sync up to date and supporting all of the clubs on our campus. So I appreciate all of that effort. I think that the virtual tabling was, I think it went well, being that we are in a virtual environment. So thank you.
Thank you very much. I will add to that we've got, normally, we have about 125 clubs with 5 of those on the AV campus. Currently, we have 80 clubs going through the chartering process. So considering the situation, I think 80 is really, really good.
Maria has a comment.
Hello, Ed. I just wanted to say that I know we're virtual, but a lot of us are still waiting to see the Monopoly board.
I'll email it to you.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Okay, any other questions?
That's all I see.
Okay, moving on to appointments, oath of office. Do we have any?
I believe we do not.
Okay. Then moving on to campus issues.
Obviously, we heard from students today about issues related to the breakfast hours. So Nadia, who's the Vice President of Campus Life, is going to be organizing a meeting between housing students, Airmark, including Owen and Wayne, so we can start to figure out some options for students over there. We've also had students email into ASI concerned about not hearing from their professors. And so I have forwarded those names of professors over to the provost's office so we could have folks reach out to them. So those are probably our two biggest issues that we've had.
Okay. Do we have any questions about those two things?
Not that I see.
Okay. Moving to new business information item, Dr. James Rodriguez.
So everyone, I'd love to introduce to you all Dr. James Rodriguez, who's the new Dean for our Social Sciences and Education. And so I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Rodriguez to introduce himself and share anything he wants with you all. Dr. Rodriguez, you can unmute yourself.
Thank you, Ilaria, and good afternoon to everyone. I'm so happy to be able to join you this afternoon and to be able to introduce myself as the Dean of the School of Social Sciences and Education. It's been a wonderful start to the semester, and I've actually had a head start over the summer. I've completed nearly 2 months, or actually I'm past the 2-month mark, and I've just been so pleased and amazed at all of the wonderful things that are going on the campus, within the School of Social Sciences and Education, our faculty, staff, and all of you, the students. And I look forward to getting to work with ASI, getting to know you, getting to work with student organizations within social sciences and education, like the Psychology Club, and also student organizations beyond the School of Social Sciences and Education. And I also look forward to being able to have more time with students. And so an opportunity that I've created is coming up, and I'd like to share with all of you that next Thursday, September 10th, which I believe is also the day of the Psychology Club meeting in the afternoon, I'll be hosting a conversation hour at noon, so from noon to 1. And if anyone is interested in attending and participating in that conversation hour, I will post an email address that you can respond to in the chat box. And again, I appreciate the time to be able to say a few words this afternoon. And I just words cannot express how happy and excited I am to be able to be part of the CSUB family and to be the Dean of the School of Social Sciences and Education, and to be able to work with all of the faculty, staff, and to work with you, the students. So, and I wish you a wonderful and safe Labor Day weekend.
Thank you so much for that, Dr. Rodriguez. Does anybody have any questions?
I do not see any questions, but Dr. Rodriguez, there's lots of welcomes for you in the chat, so you can see those.
Thank you for the warm welcome.
Okay, moving on then to new business information item, Chief Martin Williamson with UPD updates.
Good afternoon, everybody. Just so you wonder why the bright blue shirt doesn't match my normal uniform, I'm actually working remotely today, and I'm trying something. I'm actually out of town. So, but I'm glad I could be here with you. To start off with, this is my second week in a row. Normally, I'll meet with, for those people that are new, I'll meet with ASI once a month at the beginning of the month, unless something comes up, and then Ilaria will bring me back. But so this is my get back into the routine of a monthly meeting. So a couple of things to Brenda. Thank you. If you remember last week, I mentioned that our officers, our university police officers, were doing some active shooter training virtually. First time my officers have ever done it. and I understand it was a good success, and Brenda joined them on Monday. We hoped that we would have some faculty join us today, but to my knowledge, we did not get any faculty that was able to join us today. So Brenda, thank you. I don't know if this is out of line, but I was wondering if Brenda, I heard some of the descriptions, Brenda, of how intense it got. So I don't know if you can say a couple words, if that's allowable, just as a description of what it was like to go through that kind of training.
Absolutely, Brenda. Just go ahead and unmute yourself.
Thank you. It was actually pretty intense, but at the same time, I feel like UPD has that support from the colleagues you guys work with, and I know you guys are a team, and I actually like that. The active shooter virtual range was actually quite intensive at the beginning and towards the end. I learned quite new things, and I also learned more things about myself than I think I could take it into a different perspective. So I want to say thank you. I was actually talking with my other committee members, and I learned that UPD is very compassionate towards students, and I love that. I love that all about it. So I want to say thank you for the opportunity as well, and hope that if anybody you guys are more want to know more about it, you guys could let me know.
And I understood, Brenda, it got so intense that you actually dropped your mask so you could breathe better in order to stay in the fight. Is that? I just heard that. I just thought I'd throw that out there.
Yes, I did. I was actually you get into the persona, so I felt like I was trying to I was literally in the game, So it was so intense that I couldn't speak louder, and I wanted to speak louder to the camera. So I had to take off my mask, but then I realized, we were all spreaded, so it was only 3 of us in the room. So it was with Steve and the one that was helping us out with the virtual training. So it was more, but it was a good thing. I actually learned so much. But yes, it was really intense. I know now I know what it's like to be part of it, and it's such a roller coaster. It's so hard.
Well, thanks again, Brenda. I know the officers certainly enjoyed having you come out too and showing the interest. And again, if we have more of an interest, we can always set something up for maybe just ASI specifically, and then I could just bring out a couple officers and just remembering that we have the spread. So thanks, Brenda. Again, first time we've tried that, so I'm glad it worked out very well, and everybody got kind of an understanding of what goes on. So that's pretty neat. On to COVID, President Zalesny brought up a couple of things. Let me just say that our last week went fairly smooth. We had some minor issues, and I say that in the sense that things could be a lot worse. If you look at Chico, the classes have been canceled. San Diego State, the classes have been canceled temporarily. Going virtual. Universities across the nation are having impacts. And so far, ours, I'm going to say, have been minor. But I just want to reassure you that all the planning that this campus has completed came into, not all of it, but a lot of it came into play, and everything worked as we had hoped for and better in some areas and such. So hopefully it doesn't get any worse than this, but if it does, we'll be prepared to move forward. So again, we're keeping an eye on it, and we're going to be ultra conservative in order to protect this campus. So again, when we look at things, we look at it as what's the best way for us to protect each individual, but at the same time, the entire campus, from students, staff, faculty, and visitors. So again, the team meets weekly and as needed. In fact, I have a meeting here at 4:00 with the assessment team to follow up on some things. So I just want to assure you that we're still monitoring, and so far we've had a pretty good success with our campus. But the president stressed it again: social distancing, cover your face. Those are imperative in order to stop this spread and to keep everybody safe. So again, I hope everybody has that safe holiday, but keeping those in mind. The advisory, the University Police Advisory Council, I mentioned to you, was approved, and I just sent out an email to the ASI president and some others on campus, so we can start now identifying to fill those positions. And I'm hoping that by the time we get through all that, I'm hoping to have our first meeting by the end of October. I'm very excited about that, to blaze a new trail and to see, to get views from the campus and just how we can improve university policing, make people feel more and more comfortable and safe and secure on our campus, or any other community policing strategies. So I'm very excited about that. Keep in mind that parking is still not being enforced at this time. I believe Tom Davis and I will be meeting in the next week or so to try to figure out where we're going to go with it, whether we keep the same or whether we propose changes or whatever. Just keeping in mind that we are required to charge for parking, but right now we've been waiving that because of the situation we're in. So we're not sure where it's going to go, but right now, please just park legally and safely, but you don't have to worry about a permit at this point in time. The last thing I'll mention is, our officers are still out there, even though we have limited students on campus. But for those that Sergeant Corona, Veronica Corona, she's usually on the bike. Well, I'll tell you what, bad guys are going to learn to stay off of Cal State Bakersfield campus, because she found another individual today carrying several bikes, which, okay, you only need one to ride, folks. That's pretty obvious. Even I could see that one. But this one was carrying 2 or 3 bikes and parts of it. So she stopped this individual. Besides drugs, warrants, weapons, this individual went to jail, but he was on our campus. And so, again, still this campus is very, very safe because of people like Veronica and our other officers are out there. So if you ever see anything, again, even though we don't have a lot of people, but if you're on campus and you see something, please call us. Let us come out and investigate it. We want to make sure it stays safe to the best of our ability. So far, we've been doing really, really good. So I just ask for everybody to call us if you see anything. And if you have any questions, please call us. And with that, I'm open to any questions or comments or concerns. And I thank you very much for your time again this afternoon.
Thank you for your update, Chief Williamson. Does anybody have any comments or questions?
None that I see.
Okay. Moving on then to new business information item, Katrina Gilmore with CC updates.
Hey, happy Friday, everyone. Is there any way that I can share my screen here? Thank you. So I have a couple of updates. I wanted to let you know that the CC is still doing walk-ins for the academic year, but we're doing virtual walk-ins. So you'll still be able to meet with a career counselor for 20 minutes. And usually these appointments are about resume development or topics that are not going to be included in maybe an hour-long appointment with a career counselor. But you would make the schedule, you would actually schedule it on Handshake. The times are available for making those virtual walk-ins within 24 hours of that day. So you can go in and click on those. And I also wanted to show you our virtual volunteer fair is coming up next Wednesday. So if you were to go into csub.joinhandshake.com, you would be able to go into the event section here. And you'd be able to click on the virtual fall volunteer fair. That's next Wednesday, 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. And in order to interact with the organizations that are offering opportunities, you would have to pre-register. And so you'll see a registration button here. The organizations that are coming have put together a schedule that they would be talking to students, and you need to pre-register for those schedules before the actual date of the event. So I really recommend, if you wanted to add to your resume, get some experience working in a field that's close to yours, to register for that particular fair. It'll actually get you ready for attending our Fall Career Expo that's coming in October, where we have different employers from various industries participating in that. Also, in our event section, you'll be able to see all the different events that we have coming up for fall. So those are now posted in Handshake. So if you need to get information on how to put a resume together, being ready for different career events, learning how to do an interview, they're all listed through this Handshake system. And all these particular events will be offered virtually. In the chat, I'm going to actually put in our contact information. It will have the Handshake login, csub.joinhandshake.com. and you'll see our contact information below. So we're still here, still on campus, still operating. So feel free to get in contact with us. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. Does anybody have any questions or comments for Katrina?
I have a quick comment. So I'll make sure to share this on our Instagram, and I'll even do a little screen recording and showing students how to get to those pages and include that on our link tree.
Thank you so much, Vanessa.
Absolutely.
Okay, any other questions or comments?
Not that I see.
Okay, moving on then to new business discussion item, Queen King and Paul Mendoza, draft of ASI financial statements.
Hello. Okay. Hi, I'm Queen King. I am the Associate Vice President of Financial Services and the University Controller. I work directly with Tom Davis, the VP of Business Administrative Services and the campus CFO as it relates to all the audits on campus. My role on campus is pretty much the day-to-day accounting, financial reporting, some of the tax reporting and budget reporting of the university and the auxiliaries. And so a couple weeks before the external auditors come to present the audited financial statements of ASI, I usually come in and give the group kind of like an overview of what an audit is and what you can expect. Paul Mendoza is the Director of Accounting and Reporting Services. Paul, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, everybody. Paul Mendoza, Director of Accounting and Reporting Services for Student Affairs.
Okay, we work together on the ASI audit as it relates to preparation of all the documents that are needed to prepare the audited financial statements for review. And so, first of all, I just want to give you an overview of an audit. So it's our fiduciary responsibility to have an audit of the financial transactions that occur in ASI. And just so you know, all transactions are not reviewed. They take a sample based on the items that they look at from a financial aspect. And they look at how the university administer its policies and procedures surrounding finances. And so it's not an audit that is led by management, it's led by the audit committee. And so the audit committee of ASI engages the auditor to perform these services. And so from the standpoint of what you guys will see is you will receive an audit committee package. That package will give you kind of like an overview of some of the adjustments that may have needed to be made. Number two, in the audit package, you will see some recommendations as it relates to, if there are recommendations, the improvement of processes. And then you will also receive kind of a financial statement packet. And in that financial statement packet, you will receive a statement of net position, which is, in other accounting terms, a balance sheet. And a balance sheet is basically a historical view of how ASI has performed. It lists all your assets, basically all of your liabilities. And if there's a residual to move forward each year, it would be represented on that financial statement. And then there's also the statement of activities. And the statement of activities is a report of the current activities of the year. You will be able to see the revenues that are coming in for ASI, including the student fees and how those revenues were spent during the year. You will also receive a statement of cash flow, which basically tells you how much cash has been spent in various areas and things of that sort. And you would also receive a schedule of functional expenses. And this outlines some of the major expenses that have occurred in the organization. One of the major expenses of ASI is actually funding scholarships. And so you will see the breakout as it relates to scholarships, some of the programming expenses, as well as general and administrative expenses, which we often refer to as overhead. And so that's just a little bit of what you can expect during the audit. And the audit is our auditors are very open with the student organization. So if you have any questions or concerns, you can pose that during the time of the audit. And if you also have questions before the audit, you can coordinate with Ilaria and she can help get those questions answered as well. And that's pretty much it from my part.
Thank you, Queen. Does anybody have any questions, comments, or have any discussion to be had?
Okay, so everyone, so just so you kind of know the process, so Queen and Paul will send over to me the drafts of our financial statements. And so then that will be on your email. So you will have the next 2 weeks to look at that. On the 18th, since we're not having a meeting next week, our auditors will be coming. So you all might have seen Andy and Jennifer from Aldrich. They're going to come in to Zoom and they're going to give you their and again, ASI hires them. So you as a board hire them to do your audit. So they're going to come in and share with you what they have found. And likewise, as you're reviewing the financial statements, if there's any questions that you have, you just send those over to me. I'll send those over to Queen and Paul, and we'll get those answered. And again, you can also ask those questions live on the 18th with Jennifer and Andy, and then Queen and Paul will be there too. So if there's additional answers, they would have them as well. So any other questions before we thank Queen and Paul for being here? Okay, thanks you guys.
Thank you. Okay, moving on then to new business, action item SB 103, adding viewpoint neutrality to the ASI bylaws.
Okay, so Frankie, do you want to jump in here?
Sorry, my computer's acting weird for a second. Let's see. Should I pull up the bylaws, or is Jonathan going to?
John can pull up the bylaws.
Okay. All right, so you can scroll down. So I don't really have much that I change. I don't have anything I changed on this or anything to amend for the bylaws, besides just the stuff that was highlighted for the viewpoint neutrality. But I'll talk more when we get to the code and the policy. But as of now, nothing's changed from last week.
Is this where you need me to be, Frankie?
Right there, and I think there's more on the very bottom.
So as Jonathan's scrolling through there, is there any more discussion about the changes to the bylaws? Remember to raise your hand in the participant window or put your name in the chat if you have questions. I don't see any, Jonathan.
Okay.
Do I have a motion to vote?
I move to vote on.
Remember, let's do this correctly. Do I have a motion to approve SB?
Okay. Do I have a motion to approve SB 103?
I think that's Crystal.
Who just motioned? Who just motioned? I literally can't hear you, so you need to put your name in the chat.
I think it's Crystal. It's hard to tell.
Okay, so motion made by Crystal.
Okay, motion made by Crystal. Do I have a second?
I second.
Okay, seconded by Frankie. All opposed? All abstaining? Motion passes.
Okay, and real fast, Brenda asked a question. Brenda, make sure that you get your questions in while we're still in discussion, but will this information be delivered to clubs and organizations? The answer is yes. We'll be sharing the results of all of this discussion and voting with clubs and organizations at the Clubs and Org Social. And so Frankie will talk more about that.
Yeah, I was gonna get to that, but let me share the screen because I wanted to share some changes I had to the finance code. Finance code's next, right?
Yeah. Okay. So moving on to new business action item FR 100, adding viewpoint neutrality to the finance code.
Okay. So the only thing this part's defined. The yellow parts are all the same from last week, like we discussed. The only thing I changed is what's highlighted in the blue. So this is what I'm going to have to amend. It's budgets cannot be increased during the finance committee, but organizations can reallocate fund requests in different budget lines as long as the total budget does not increase. Any increase will require a new application. And so I did this pretty much just so that way clubs can be more organized and making sure they have their finances. And I understand that sometimes things change last minute, but that's why there's a second sentence that allows them to reallocate funds. So instead of, for example, like it's something costing $100, now it's $150, but you put $200 for food or something, well, then you can lower that. You can take that $50 from food and change it over. So that way you don't have to submit a whole new application.
Okay.
Do we have any questions?
Does anyone else, and this is also your time to discuss this, so if there's still any outstanding questions or things that you would like to know and consider before you actually amend the resolution. John Winkler says, when the bylaws are amended, will ASI receive an email with an updated copy? Once all of our documents are updated, we'll be posting them online and we'll send them out to all of you. Jacob has a question.
Hi. So did we come to an agreement on, I know there was some issues last time we talked, I felt like, about how much students could use in a semester. Did we come to any kind of a agreement about that?
Yeah, so I talked with the finance committee and Ilaria about that, and I decided to keep it as it is right now for 3,000. So that's still the same. That if that would have changed, then I would have had it highlighted in blue.
Okay, cool.
But that's the only change I have, just the 6.4 part.
Okay. Do we have any further discussion?
Because I'm gonna have to amend this, and then you guys are gonna vote on it. So no, nothing. Okay.
Okay. Do I have a motion to approve FR 100?
I move to amend FR 100.
Okay. Movement to amend FR 100 by Frankie. Do I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Jacob. All opposed? All abstaining? Motion passes.
Okay, so now, Jonathan, now that we've amended the resolution, now we actually have to pass the amended resolution.
Okay. So then motion to approve the amended FR 100.
I move to approve amended FR 100.
Okay. Motion by Frankie. Do I have a second?
Seconded by Ali.
Okay. Seconded by Ali. All opposed? All abstaining? Motion passes.
All right.
Okay, moving on to new business action item FR 101, adding viewpoint neutrality to the ASI funding policy for student groups.
Now Nothing's changed on the first page. These are all the same from what we discussed last week. The changes I have are highlighted in blue. So I added, due to COVID-19 pandemic, ASI will only fund virtual events for the 2021 academic year. And due to 2020-2021 virtual school year, ASI will fund prizes and giveaways for virtual events. We also changed, so after the event, a club used to have 10 days to file their paperwork. Now we changed it to 21. We're going to try this as an experiment to see how long it takes clubs to bring in their receipts after their event was after the day of their event. And then we added right here 4 applications that do not submit a post-event form within 21 days. Clubs will lose 10% of the funding for that academic year.
Do we have any questions or comments for Frankie on this?
I believe that's the only thing I changed. Yeah, all the rest of it's still the same. The rest of the yellow is what we discussed yesterday or last week.
So is there any further discussion on the ASI club funding policies and any of the changes that Frankie is proposing?
Okay. Do I have a motion to amend FR 101?
I move to amend FR 101.
Okay, movement by Frankie. Do I have a second?
I second Maria Espinoza.
Okay, seconded by Maria Espinoza. All opposed? All abstaining?
I abstain. Jacob Richardson.
Okay. Motion passes. Do I have a motion to approve FR 101 with the amended changes?
I move to approve FR 101 with the amended changes.
Okay, movement by Frankie. Do I have a second?
I second Stephanie Magana.
Okay, seconded by Stephanie. All opposed? All abstaining?
I abstain. Jacob Richardson.
Okay. Motion passes.
Cool. Thanks, guys.
And then just so you all know, we'll be scheduling viewpoint neutrality training for everybody where we will do that before we will be giving any money out to clubs and organizations. And that in that time, you'll have the opportunity to brainstorm questions that you want to ask clubs. We'll pass them by our university attorney to make sure they're appropriate and are within the law. But look for that to be coming up shortly.
Okay, moving on. Old business. Do we have any old business to discuss, Ilaria?
No.
Okay, moving on then to special reports. Antelope Valley.
We currently, Debbie Rodriguez from Antelope Valley is recruiting students. She potentially has one student who is interested. So they're going to be doing an interview with that student. So we should be hearing shortly if we have some AV reps.
Okay. Moving on then to special reports, Student Recreation Center.
Luis, you can go ahead and unmute yourself.
Thank you. Hello, everybody. My name is Luis Mexicanos. I am the new student manager at the Rec Center for marketing. Some reports that we have are last week was our first week, and we saw a good increase in our social media reach, along with Group X was introduced last week as well. We had a record-breaking video in our social media for Group X. It was, right now we're seeing it has around 1.2 thousand, so 1,200 views. What else? So coming up next week, we have more Group X classes, and we will be hosting our second Kahoot night. That's going to be music theme, and our first Minute to Win It challenge coming up next week as well. something new we would like to mention is we have received the results from the Wake Forest Wellness Survey we had back in February. So I'm very eager to, get to analyzing the results and implementing in our programs and services. And that'll be it for the Rec Center.
Thank you, Luis. Does anybody have any questions or comments?
None that I see.
Okay. Moving on then to special reports, CSSA.
Hi, everyone. So I just wanted to keep you updated that the next plenary meeting is on September 19th and September 20th. And of course, they're happening virtually, and I will have more information as we get closer to those dates.
Thank you, Vanessa. Does anybody have any questions?
Not that I see.
Okay. Moving on then to director reports.
So I have a director report here from Caitlin. She just wanted to remind everyone that next week is Suicide Prevention Week, and so be on the lookout for flyers and events in the chat, and please share them on social media. She hasn't received the food pantry numbers, but she'll mention those next week.
Okay, thank you, Caitlin. Any other reports?
Remember, if you have director's report, please either raise your hand in the chat, in the participant window, or put your name in the chat. Seeing none.
Okay. Moving on then to executive officer reports. President.
Hi, everyone. I just wanted to say happy second week of school. If you guys, I hope everything's going well. And if you're struggling at all, please know that you can always reach out to your execs, and even myself, we're always here for you. So I wanted to talk a little bit about the next community conversation, which is going to happen on September 17th from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. And moving forward, as we plan for future conversations for the fall, we are going to be collaborating with other student leaders on campus, specifically from the BSU. And also I extend this invitation to collaborate to any of you as well. If you have any ideas for topics, we're always taking suggestions from students. Next is that the Hispanic Heritage Committee reached out to ASI, and they would like to collaborate for Takeout Tuesday. And so we are going to be doing that, highlighting different locally owned Hispanic businesses and restaurants. So that's going to be a lot of fun. And hopefully we can integrate some cool, maybe some history or different facts in our survey to kind of educate students about Hispanic Heritage Month. And then also big shout out to Nadia for hosting the first ever virtual runner hour. It was a great time. And I know that as we get into the fall, students are going to really appreciate those types of events as well. And then also Kappa Sigma and Hilda from the Dreamers Resource Center for attending. I thought that was really great. And then also lastly, Ed Webb for hosting the virtual club fair. I think it's great that we're going to continue that into the semester as well. So that being said, just know I'm always here for directors, for students, and I hope you have a great week. That's the end of my report.
Thank you so much, Vanessa. Does anybody have any questions or comments?
None that I see.
Okay, moving on, executive officer reports, executive vice president.
Hi, everyone. First, I'd like to give a quick little shout out to Jonathan, our new chair. I think you're doing a great job. You're learning everything so fast. So thank you. Keep up your great work. I also like to give a little shout out to Roxanne, our previous EVP. Congrats on your position of being president of SWE this year. I am going to be reaching out to you about the meetings. So you'll be hearing from me. And then I did attend the T-Pain event. I loved it. It kept me entertained the whole night. I had nothing else to do, and it was very well organized. So thank you. This week we recorded our club fair video with the other execs. I did the Takeout Tuesday confirmations. We had Martin's Meats this week, and then also I worked on office hour reporting for our directors. So directors, you will be getting a Google form that we'll be doing. That's where you're going to be able to report all your hours, and I'll be sending it out to Alari and the rest of the execs. And that's it for my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Stephanie. Does anybody have any questions or comments?
Roxanne just put in the chat, thank you. Of course, please reach out. And that's it.
Okay. Moving on to Executive Officer Reports, Vice President, Campus Life.
Good afternoon, everyone. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay, perfect. Alrighty. So first and foremost, I do want to welcome Dr. Rodriguez to the Runner family. We are excited to have you. Sorry, my camera is not on, guys. I am at a quick urgent call, so we're doing that, taking care of that. So that's the reason why I don't have my camera on. Moving forward, housing students and our dining staff to help and find solutions for housing students. And then I've also been meeting up with Hilda, and as Vanessa had said, we're going to be collaborating to be part of the Hispanic Heritage Month. We are super excited to be a part of that. For Runner Hour, I was really, really nervous. It was our first ever virtual Runner Hour, so I'm super thankful to Kappa Sigma fraternity, Hilda from the Dreamers Resource Center, and the food pantry for attending and tabling with us. We did, and so hey, it's still something, you know? And I'm really, really thankful for everybody who reposted it on their Instagram social media pages. So thank you so much for the support. I'm still hopeful that we will get a truck and get more students out here. Let's keep it going, guys. And then I want to give a shout out to my committee. We did have a successful meeting today. We discussed a lot of director businesses that they had. And so far, so good. We're just trying to keep it going and resilient, and I'm excited to see what we have in store for the next few months. And that's all for my business.
Thank you for that, Nadia. Does anybody have any questions or comments?
None that I see.
Okay. Moving on then to Executive Officer Reports, Vice President of Finance.
Yes, hello. Awesome. So thank you guys so much. We're now able to distribute funds to clubs now. So I'm excited to hear from clubs. And this week I was presenting to freshmen, seminar classes, and those have all gone. Very
sorry, trying to figure out who's unmuted.
Anyways, where was I?
Nadia's just lagging. So even though she's muted, her audio is catching up.
Oh, okay.
Wow, I was like, what the heck? What's going on? Anyways, talking to I was going to freshman orientation classes, speaking to them about ASI, the resources CSUB has, and about like the food pantry, the garden, virtual computer lab. It all went very well. I also have my financial literacy workshop, my budgeting 101, coming up on Wednesday. Literally right before the board meeting, I had a rehearsal with Jaime from Valley Strong, going over the PowerPoint, making sure that everything's in order. So I'm really excited for that on Wednesday. And that's about it.
Okay. Thank you, Frankie. Does anybody have any questions or comments?
Not that I see.
Okay. Moving on to Executive Officer Reports, Vice President, Legislative Affairs.
Hello, everybody. Congratulations on making it to your second week of virtual online classes. Congratulations. That's a big accomplishment. Make sure you're staying up on your assignments because I'm getting a lot more than usual. I don't know about you, but I've been working on my schedule here. So definitely, I think Donna O would be proud of me. So the biggest update I have for you is we just finished Lobby Corps coordinators and group interviews. That's why I was about 5 minutes late to this meeting, because we were interviewing from 1 to 3. And so we've finalized our fellows, and we just have to whittle it down to 1 coordinator, and we have 2 people for that position. So me and Ignacio will be meeting after this meeting to finalize, and we'll make an announcement. I'll get back on the ASI Legislative Affairs Instagram because Aaron Aragon still has that login information, and I'll make a flyer with everybody's headshots and be like, hey, welcome to the 2020-2021 Lobby Corps. So that's very exciting, and that's basically my update. It's really been a really big undertaking from like 24 applicants to now we're almost done. So very exciting. I'll be scheduling those meetings very soon. So that's my report. Keep smiling, stay positive, but not for COVID.
Thank you so much for that, Crystal. Does anybody have any questions or comments?
None that I see.
Okay, moving to Executive Officer Reports, Vice President, University Affairs.
Hello, everyone. I hope you guys are having a great Friday. So this week, I had my successful one-on-ones with my committee, the University Affairs Committee, and I also had my first AAA committee, and I think they both went really well. I did notice that in both committees, our main concern is mental health for our students, and what does that mean now that we're virtual? In our both committees, we're thinking of doing surveys. So the AAA committee had a big problem with classes that are making you put your video on, like they're making it mandatory for you to keep your camera on while on class, just because there's a lot going on in houses, and there's a lot that I feel kind of puts students in not such a safe space when you do that. And then in my UA committee, we talked about how our concern is that maybe students are taking more classes than they can just because it's online. So we really want to see if we could do a Takeout Tuesday and do a survey for that and work on seeing if that's a problem and how we could help that. And that's it for my report.
Thank you, Maria. Does anybody have any questions or comment?
None that I see.
Okay, moving to Executive Officer Reports, Chief Justice.
Thank you, Jonathan, and everyone on the board. It's good to see everyone again. I hope everyone's classes are going well and we're all, chugging along. I wanted to welcome Dr. Rodriguez. First of all, it's great to meet the new dean of our department. Shout out to political science, best department around. Moving on to my second point, we are very excited to begin the scholarship process around Thanksgiving. I was very, grateful to hear the accounting team's presentation today on audits and the importance of financial integrity. We administer a big dollar amount, $50,000 in scholarships, $25K in the fall and $25K in the spring. So it's a big undertaking, and we're very excited to get started on that. But we'd love to hear, suggestions or comments from everyone else on the board to Judicial Council about ways we can improve that process or better refine it to get those funds out to students. We're very excited about that. Sorry if you can hear the gardeners in the background. They're right outside my window. We've obtained the bylaws, so we're beginning our review process. We're very excited to look over and start thinking about Student Bill of Rights, diversity statements, Director of Students with Disabilities positions. So all of these are new sort of trailblazing ideas that CSUB wants to get started with. But again, they're new ideas. So please, as we said with the last point, feel free to reach out if you have any comments or suggestions about how you think those ought to be implemented, or if you think there are any improvements that could be made. Second to lastly, one of the justices on the council would like me to reiterate the importance of adhering to public health guidelines, and specifically the new guidelines for the state. Wash your hands, social distance, wear a mask. These are all the ways that we're going to get back to the top of the list and reopen so that we can get back to campus as soon as possible. So, stick to those guidelines. We don't have a meeting for Judicial Council next week because of Guaranteed 4.0. So we'll see you all there. Other than that, that is it for my report. Everybody have a safe, healthy weekend, and I'll see you all 2 Fridays from now. Thank you. I yield back.
Thank you, John. Does anybody have any questions or comments?
None that I see.
Okay, moving to Executive Officer Reports, Executive Director.
Okay, everybody. Congrats on making it through week number 2. Again, you all are on the front line, so please make sure you're talking to students and sharing their concerns here so we can make sure that we're able to get answers and really help students as they're struggling, especially with them not being around. So remember, next week we will be having no meeting because we will be all attending, including myself. The Guaranteed 4.0 is really important. Again, virtually, we want to make sure students feel supported academically, and I want to make sure all of you do as well. So if you cannot make the Friday from one, there is sessions on Saturday and Sunday, so we can get you to go to one of those. So you just need to let me know. I forgot to bring up during campus issues last week, we had Jacqueline bring up a public comment about some concerns with SSD. So SSD has reached out to her and is working with her because she actually had some concerns about some other departments on campus. So Jason Watkins is working with Jacqueline to resolve those issues. Next is the 50th Anniversary Committee has reached out, and they would like ASI to film a happy birthday to CSUB video that will be shown on October 1st, which will be our big CSUB 50th anniversary party. So we will... So I'll be sending out a message to see who would like to participate in the filming of this Zoom birthday message. Next is one way that each of you can, it's kind of back to what Ziggy talked about earlier, one way that each of you can really help on getting students to register to vote is asking your professors if at the very beginning of class you can make an announcement. We're in a ballot bowl with all the other California schools. So the best way that we can encourage students, all of us, to register to vote is through your My CSUB. Because if you do it through My CSUB, that also includes faculty and staff who can register to vote through there. CSUB gets credit for that. So then it looks really good. Right now, I think we're 9th in California, and Crystal will be able to comment afterwards on that. So it's really important that we are encouraging folks to vote. Okay. With that, you can also check your registration because we know we've heard comments that people have been dropped off voter registration. So even if you register to vote, it's really important that we let students know that you should check your registration, and you can also do it through your My CSUB. So it's super easy. You click on your My CSUB on the right-hand side under important links. It says register to vote. You click on that, magically it will take you to the Secretaries of State's website. You can either register or check your registration. So I super encourage all of you just to ask your professors if that to be able to share that in your classes. And then lastly, we have Crystal is going to get sworn in as student trustee on Tuesday. So I'm going to be sending all of you a calendar announcement. It'll be very quick. It's a 15 minutes. But so if you'd like to be there for Crystal's swearing in, I will send that to all of you. So that will be on Tuesday. And then as everyone else has reiterated, have a wonderful, wonderful holiday weekend. But please wear your mask. I know, thank you, Frankie, for having your mask on, but please make sure you wear your mask. It's critical in order for us all to get back together again. So I think that's it for me.
Okay, thank you, Ilaria. I see Crystal wants a comment.
Yes, so I can report on the ballot bowl stuff. So CSU Chico is at the top right now with 106. We're all the way at the bottom at 16. So that's our rankings. Make sure that you check if you register to vote. And remember, if you move, you have to register to vote, as well as a few other reasons. So make sure that you vote and make sure that you're sensitive.
And you might have students ask, please, another reason to check your registration is to make sure that they have your correct address, because here in California, everyone's going to be voting by mail. So it's really, really, really important that we make sure that the state has your correct mailing address. Okay, and I see that Jacob has a question.
You literally just answered it, so that's it.
Okay, good. Any other questions? Okay, seeing
Okay.
none.
Moving then to campus committee reports. Do we have any?
I don't see any.
Okay. Moving on then to closing remarks. Does anybody have any last words to say?
Seeing none.
Okay. With no closing remarks, do I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Ali?
I move to join the meeting. Crystal Lane, sorry.
Okay. Movement by Crystal. Do I have a second?
Second by Ali.
Okay. Seconded by Ali. All opposed? All abstain? Okay. Movement passes. Meeting adjourned at 4:39 p.m.